We're live.
We are live. Have a seat.
But we need to make sure that people can hear us. Let's see.
I'm going to check in with some friends real quick. First time going live, so YouTube just denied us. We tried to go live on YouTube, that didn't happen, so...
And the sun was not out until literally I pressed go live.
Which there's clouds, so we're good. Carolina, we need to know if we're live right now. Shoot us a text.
I don't know where your Facebook is on here. Oh, social, got it. Really, girls? This is why dogs should not be allowed to be on live streams by a lake. If they knock over that camera, I am going to be really mad.
Oh, they're having a good time. What are we working on here? Hey.
No bark. Why would you do that? All right, so.
We live?
Yeah, looks good to me.
All right.
Yeah.
So we asked a bunch of people questions about our full-time RV life, and honestly, I haven't read through many of them.
Yeah,
we wanted
so this
to be kind of impromptu a little bit.
This ought to be interesting. So, all right, we printed off all of the questions. I think we asked Instagram and Facebook just questions about our full-time RV life because, high five, we made it to 1 year. I cannot believe it. It's been 1 year since we hit the road and sold everything, and here we are. We're actually in Billings, Montana, at the world's very first KOA, which ironically was one of the first places that we came to. And before we full-timed, we wanted to see if we even liked the lifestyle. So a year ago in June, this was one of our very first places just to try out living in a travel trailer.
Where we met Embracing Detours, which another full-time couple that cruise around the country. They have a really good YouTube channel, so check that out as well.
Yeah, they are in an Airstream, which they will tell you, Airstream people, it's like being in a cult.
Yeah, the only reason we don't like Airstream is they don't have slide outs. They do make slide outs for Airstream, but we tried the bumper pull lifestyle before the fifth wheel, and it was just a little too cramped for us, especially with the 2 dogs, 2 cats, and then trying to work out of the RV. It just wasn't happening. So,
right.
But let's get to the questions. We've got quite a few of them, it looks like.
All right.
Like 20 or so. Go
yeah,
ahead.
There's a lot of questions, so thank you to everyone who took the time to ask us questions
for sure
about RV life or e-commerce or whatever you asked. The first one I have to say, this one is from Chad, which happens to be my best friend's husband, and he asked if a robe and stocking hat is a must when emptying the shitters.
No. Would I like to empty the shitter in a robe and one of those fancy hats that Cousin Eddie wears? Yes. But no, we do not, that's not mandatory for emptying the shitter.
No.
But I like the idea, and I may have to make that just a permanent thing because we don't empty it that often. So when I do, or when Liz does, a robe and a hat might be a good way to go.
And you'll have to ignore our animals who are misbehaving and they see another dog.
Hey, come here. Shandy, Bella, Shandy, get over here.
Well, this is turning into a wonderful live stream. All right, So the next question is from Zach from Instagram, and he said, happy 1 year anniversary and RV-sary. What are your average monthly expenses with your rig? Which I looked up, and from the time that we started traveling until now, we have spent about close to $3,500 to $4,000 for the last year, which is pretty good considering that we had a house in Tempe that we spent about $200 or $2,000.
$2,000 a month for our mortgage plus electric, water. It was a 15-year note, but it was still on $285,000. The mortgage was. It was about $2,000 a month plus water, electric, landscaper and pool guy because we were traveling a bunch. So yeah, in 2 months of that lifestyle, we've paid for the entire year being out on the road. So
it's definitely cheaper.
Yes.
There's lots of ways that you can make RV living a lot more inexpensive.
Kayakers.
RV life at its finest, folks. I mean, you can be members of different RV parks, and you can make it really inexpensive. So the fact that we've only spent about $4,000 to live for the last year really is awesome in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
All right, next question. Matt
Lawler asks, do you miss your house? And that is a big no. We do not miss our house. Houses make sense for a lot of people. We found that it didn't make sense for us.
No.
I mean, it can be an investment. People buy homes to live in forever, or they buy them to rent them out. It was just a big expense monthly I mean, most people only live within their house in a small space, meaning like they sit on the couch in the living room to watch TV, they sleep in their bed, and they use, the bathroom or whatnot. The majority of the rest of the house is not used.
Yeah.
And that's why I think you see a lot of the tiny home movement, RV lifestyle like Liz and I are doing. Again, houses make sense for certain people. For us, it really didn't at all. If I get back into, or when we get back into real estate, it's going to be multifamily, or we really would like to buy a property and do an RV park.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Maybe an RV park. That would be really cool to do. And
the way I look at it, an RV park, you can get like, let's call it 80 to 100 different lots, if you will. The cost to buy, the bees are really bad around here. The cost to buy 80 different single family homes to rent out is, well, a lot of money depending on where you're at versus an RV park.
Right.
The investment on that commercial real estate side should make sense for us down the road.
You have a wasp on your hat.
The bees are really bad here in Billings.
They are really bad. Actually, our campsite, right next to it, there's a tree, and there are wasps and bees all over it. I had to go to the office, and they set a trap, and we found some in our RV, and yeah, I'm not really a fan, but I guess that's just how it is around here.
After this, we'll show you our view with a bunch of people hanging out here down by the river. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Next one from Unraveled Time. What is your biggest RV tip for newbie full-timers?
I would say if you're just a newbie, if you haven't bought a rig, something that we didn't do was rent and try something out. We bought a bumper pole. It was 30 foot.
Yeah, because on the, oh gosh, are you kidding?
Another bee.
Well, on the Facebook groups, everyone said buy an RV that's under 30 feet because you are going to want to get into state parks.
National
parks. If you get one bigger than that, you're not going to be able to. We haven't found that to be true. I mean, our fifth wheel is 35 feet. Our bumper pole is 30 feet. And really, we've been able to get in everywhere that we've wanted to get into. A lot of it has to do with, and I would say a big tip would be plan. A lot of RV parks and campgrounds and state parks, they fill up really quickly. For example, we want to go back to Arizona for spring training because my family has spring training tickets, and it is impossible to find a campground there. We're under 55 which makes it even more challenging. But even the regional parks, you have to buy the campsites when they go on sale, which they only release them so far in advance.
Yeah, usually about, what is it, 6 months, 3 months?
Yeah, something like that.
Usually like 6 months in advance they'll open it up, and then you can book them. But they do go quickly, which is why like an RV park makes sense for us as far as real estate investment. They're selling a lot more RVs than they have RV parks, which if you're reading the news now, RV sales are declining, which is like this sign for a recession, this, that, and the other. I don't know. We're not really worried about a recession because of how we've set ourselves up with this lifestyle. You know, if the market goes to crap, in a sense, you know, we'll just be on the sidelines watching, essentially. And
yeah, another newbie tip I would say, which was our biggest mistake, make sure if you are going to go camping, push in the black tank lever, because the very first time we took out our outdoors RV travel trailer, Casey went to dump and he didn't have the
I didn't have the lever pushed in, so as soon as I opened the cap to the black tank,
oh god,
yeah, it was not pretty.
It was so gross. I mean, literally, like, if you want, just think about what goes on in those black tanks, and then for it to like come shooting out. I
was wearing flip-flops.
I wish I would have had that on video, because that would have been a really good video. But yeah, definitely push in the black tank levers. Make sure that cap's on. You do not want to deal with what we dealt with.
Coffee is always on.
Well, he really didn't ask a question. He just said, sometimes it rains on your every day for 6 weeks, but the sun still rises and sets, so it's all good. Which is very true. Yeah.
I mean, there are times, I mean, when it's raining and stuff, bad weather, you feel a little bit confined to just the RV, but again, going back to this residential home, you're usually just sitting on the couch watching television, you're in the kitchen, you're in the bedroom and bathroom. There's a lot of square foot that does not get used at all. It's a big waste. So yeah, anyway.
All right, John and Jay, who we love following them on Instagram, Big Travels, Tiny Home. He is a big disc golfer. We cannot wait till we cross paths with them.
Yeah.
On, you know, wherever we may go, because we definitely are going to do a disc golf challenge for sure.
I'll probably get schooled, but I'm okay with that.
I think he's pretty good. They asked, who stinks the other one out of the fifth wheel?
Well,
I mean, of course it's Casey, right?
I was going to say, it's, I think it's, I mean, the bathroom, a lot of people have questions about that. Ours is separated from everything, so you open the door, there's the toilet, and then there's a fan and whatnot right above it, so we really don't get stunk out, I would say.
No, because you keep the door closed just like you would at home.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's any different.
Yeah.
Next one, Gritty Girl Boss on Instagram asked, do you leave your pets in the RV alone much, and is it legal to?
I'm guessing the legality question is when we're traveling. If we leave the pets in the fifth wheel, we do leave our cats in the fifth wheel while traveling. They do not travel well in a vehicle. We tried it, and if we put them in a cage, they just meow and they're just not happy at all. If we let them out of the cage, then it's hard to keep them out of the front passenger compartment.
Yeah, it became really dangerous because I remember we were traveling once and I had one of the cats with me, and he actually crawled down to where my feet were, and I almost got in an accident.
Was not good.
So we asked our vet what he thought, and pretty much wherever the pets are the most comfortable, which the cats, honestly, and I know people are going to be watching this saying you should never leave your pets in the RV, but I mean, they're fine. I mean, if you had a Class A, you would leave them in the vehicle.
Yeah, it's kind of the same difference. I mean, with the slides in, they stay in the master bedroom when we travel, because we've pulled over several times to go check on them, make sure they have water and all that good stuff. And they're always in the front, right over the bed of the truck.
Which is the least bumpy and I mean, when we open up the door, they're sleeping. Like,
Yeah.
they're not, they could care less. They're like, we're just going for another adventure, another ride.
I mean, at the end of the day, if we're in an accident bad enough to put their lives in danger, it really wouldn't matter. I don't think if they were in the fifth wheel or the truck. But yeah, so the cats, yes. The dogs stay in the truck with us because they ride comfortably in the back. We even make a cab. We lay everything down, and yeah, they hang out and chill.
By copywriter, how much time do you spend in the camper versus outside? I mean, that really depends on where we are.
And what we have to do. So
Yeah.
this whole lifestyle is about living outdoors for sure. We're into cycling, so we do that. I'm a big hiker, getting Liz into it. This is an example of...
I don't like running though.
This is an example of us hanging outside.
It's beautiful here.
The thing with being indoors is we spend a lot of time online with our online business. So I would say if we're working on the internet and or watching Netflix or something at night, then we are of course in the RV. But our goal is to spend as much time outside as possible. That
Right.
was why we were doing this. And so yeah.
Yeah.
We spend a majority of the time outside. When we're inside, it's working, basically.
Hop in the map. How many states have you traveled since becoming full-time? I looked and I believe it's 14.
Okay.
We're mainly on the West Coast just because of Casey's job. If you don't know, he's an auto damage adjuster for an insurance company on the catastrophe team. And so really, it's been great because they send us to places, but on the other hand, we haven't been able to really go to the places that we want to go to.
Sure.
Being here in Billings, there's, we're close to, what is it?
Glacier National Park and
What's the other one? Crater Lake, and there's another
Lake's
one.
in Oregon, I think. I'm not
Are you
sure.
sure?
No,
There's,
I'm
I
not.
think there's,
I have no
well,
idea.
Yellowstone's close to here.
Yeah.
So, really, 14, I mean, considering we've been gone a year, that's a state a month. And I know next year we'll probably visit more places.
Yeah, for sure.
Nathan Corp, our friend's husband, what do you do when you need that alone time to distress or get back to center? Which is a really good question. We are in a fifth wheel. It's 35 feet. I like to watch The Bachelor, Bachelorette. Casey does not. So those are like the times where it's like, I kind of wish like we had a different room that he could go to, but
I'm
I mean,
not a
it's
big
bad.
television watcher, so when she's watching her shows, I'm usually online communicating with people and working on her business. But as far as, what was the question
Well,
again?
really the question was just how
do we
like,
get away from
how
each
do we
other?
get away from each other, which I mean is a good question. I feel like honestly our relationship's been and our marriage has been stronger because we're forced to be in that small space and communicate in ways that we haven't communicated before.
And there was a couple years with me traveling where I lived out of hotels, and so I was literally gone 3 weeks every month, sometimes 6 weeks at a time. So fortunately we haven't had the issue of that we need to get out of each other's hair too much.
But really, I mean, you go for a walk, like
Yeah, it's the same as if you were in a home, I would
Yeah.
say. I mean, a 3,000 square foot house isn't that big if you're in a situation where you want to get away from each other. So I feel like, just going into another room's not always the answer.
sorry, our dogs keep
Dogs are going
barking.
nuts.
Girls, get over here.
A lot of cool people here in Montana, so when the dogs run up to them and say hey,
Yeah,
most of them love them.
Yeah. All right, so that was all the Instagram. So thank you if you
Yes, thanks for the
ask
questions.
questions on Instagram. Now Facebook, your cousin Brittany, do you have a dishwasher, washing machine, dryer? We do not have a dishwasher. I am actually the best
We
dishwasher.
are the dishwashers.
I'm a really good dishwasher, and I feel like since being on the RV, you really learn how to conserve water. So I'm really good at not wasting a lot of water when I need to clean things. We do use a lot of paper towels though. So like if you're cooking food,
Sorry, Bridget.
yeah, whoops.
our friend's not a big fan of paper towels. Which
No, this is your cousin, Bridget.
No, I know.
Or Brittany.
No, Bridget.
Oh, Bridget. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Bridget LaRoche is not a big fan of paper towel usage.
Yeah.
So apologize about that. But we have metal plates that we use for obvious reason. When you're traveling, you don't want glass plates. We have a couple metal ones. You know, when we eat, we just wash them when we're done. It's very simple. It's just the two of us, so it's not a big chore. We do have washer and dryer hookups in our rig, but we do not have a washer dryer now. Most places that we stay have a laundry facility like this KOA here in Billings, and if not, we'll go to the laundromat. We did make the mistake one time of going to, like, they call them like fluff and fold, where you basically pay by the pound. Not recommended. We brought our bedding and a whole bunch of clothes there, and it was what? It was expensive.
We spent almost $150 for 2 quilts, a 5-piece sheet set, and then 60 pounds of laundry, which was a huge mistake. We should have never done that. We really were just lazy. And we learned a lesson that you should not be lazy. Just do your own laundry and be done with it. But like Casey said, lots of places here, you go to their laundry. A lot of them are coin operated, so we have to make sure we do have quarters, but it's not a big deal. Yeah,
the quilt, which is funny, so Liz spent like $25 at Walmart for this quilt.
$19.99.
$20. And Bella got sick on it, and so we took it to the Fluff and Fold. It cost us, I think, $30 to wash it. So
I should have just I should have thrown it away and bought a new one at Walmart. But lessons learned.
Yes.
Kimberly, have you ever had the experience like Robin Williams in the movie RV?
One more time.
Have you ever had the experience like Robin Williams did in the movie RV?
Have we seen that?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure what experience. I think we've seen the movie. I remember.
That's not the one.
No, I'm thinking of Jennifer Aniston and that other dude.
That's the one I'm thinking about.
We haven't seen the movie RV
I
with
don't
Robin
know.
Williams, so
no idea.
Not sure what experience he faced, but.
And then my friend Jan asked, "Can I come live with you?" Honestly, our RV is not set up for anyone more than a single person or a couple. Just the way that the floor plan is.
Yeah, so we have the master bed, which is common, of course. Our living area is a dinette, a couch, and 2 recliners. Most people with families or that's going to have somebody else stay in the rig with you will have like a bunk set up.
Oh gosh.
Oh jeez. Or
Bella just shook and water went everywhere. Your phone is disgusting. Look at that.
Or they'll have a bunk set up, or potentially a second room. We don't have that. In fact, our couch is not sleepover friendly at all. It's a pull-out with a blow-up mattress, which is a cheap-ass blow-up mattress. Like, it doesn't stay.
No.
So
we're definitely going to be doing some upgrades to the RV, changing out the furniture. It's an RV. Like, a lot of people don't plan on living in them, so I feel like I would rather have an RV where it had no furniture, where I could pick out what I would want and what would work best for us. We just recently, Casey did a really good job at turning the dining room table to where we now have more of a workspace, and we can have monitors and we can sit next to each other. And then when our slide comes in, we have a little bit more space to be able to get to the kitchen. And so just small things like that.
Yeah, we were sitting across from each other working, if you're in an online business or any business with your spouse or any significant other or partner, what have you, we find it better to be sitting next to each other. So you, one, it keeps you motivated, I guess, or honest in a sense,
then I
where
can't
you're not
see,
just surfing the internet.
I can't see what you're, like what porn you're watching, pretty much.
Not happening. Go ahead.
All right. Christy asked, "Do you miss having a regular home? What is your favorite, not so favorite part about RV life?" We already kind of touched that. Do not miss our house. Don't miss having a landscaper and pool person, having to worry about cleaning.
For us, I mean, without having children, we're not I don't know that we'll buy a single family home ever again. It just doesn't make sense for us. Any investment in real estate is going to be multifamily or an RV park or something more commercial in a sense. So,
but yeah, my favorite part of RVing would be just being able to explore different areas and places that we wouldn't normally do, because when you have a house, 9 times out of 10 you take like 1, maybe 2 vacations. Well, we like every day feels like a vacation. We get to go to really cool places and meet new people. The one thing I don't like is I don't like travel days. They become very stressful, especially because I have to drive Casey's work vehicle. He drives the truck and the 5th wheel, and that just becomes very stressful to me because it's a big production to have to put everything away, hook up, travel down the freeway, and I'm not in the vehicle with him, so I don't like that part at all.
Yeah. It'd be a lot easier, I mean, finding gas stations and places to eat.
I'm gonna need a shower after this.
Stuff like that. It'd be a lot easier with both of us in the truck.
Which it will be easier soon.
Yeah, we're pretty envious of those that get to travel together and shoot videos and stuff and kind of walk through that process. We haven't had that luxury yet, but soon.
Sherry, do you ever get on each other's nerves and being in tight quarters? We already talked about that. Like I said, we've just become closer and just, I mean, we're best friends.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't get along with your spouse, RV life isn't
It would
the
probably
life.
be challenging.
That said, if you don't get along with your spouse, you know, probably, I don't know. But yeah, we don't get in on each other. We do on occasion. I mean, I think everybody does.
Well, yeah, but you have to get over it really quickly because they're not going. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Like everywhere I go, there he is, literally.
Yeah, we've actually learned. I mean, we know when each other's upset, so I usually get more upset because I get frustrated with my job and stuff like that because it's very stressful. And Liz can pick up on that pretty quickly, and she does a really good job of, I guess, comforting me in a sense. And
well, thank you.
but yeah, so it's actually been good. I really enjoy the RV lifestyle, especially with Liz. So we're excited to do this for a while. So.
Yeah. Tara said, "What's something you never in a million years thought you'd do but have to because of RV life?"
Empty the shitter for sure.
Yeah. See, like what our shit looks like. Like at least when you live in a stick and bricks home, you can flush it down and you don't have to worry about it. But then you really, well, yeah. I feel like you realize like just the raw part of
Raw sewage.
Yeah, literally raw sewage.
What was the question? One more time. Sorry.
Just what in a million years would we thought we'd have to do, or never in a million years thought we'd have to do because of RV life?
Never in a million years that we'd. I mean, that's the biggest one, but you get used to that really quickly, and it's not that difficult to hook up your hose and just empty the tanks. It's not a big deal. But that question, yeah, I never in a million years thought I would be hooking up a hose to dump my
poop,
our crap. But
which goes to Jessica asked, "Do we poop in the RV?" Yes.
Yes, we definitely do.
And then Tom Barnella, do you guys take turns emptying the tank, or is it always Casey's job if he's around?
Usually my job.
I've done it once.
Yeah, Liz did it once. I mean, you just bought a bunch of rubber gloves on Amazon, slap those babies on, but it's really not that bad. I mean, you're hooking up a hose, you hook it up to the drain or whatever the hell, and pull a lever. It's really not that difficult. Sometimes when we're at parks like this, KOA has a really nice bathroom. A lot of RV parks and campgrounds have a restroom and a shower you can use. We do not have full hookups here, meaning, so we only have water and electric, and we do not have a sewer hose. Some of the sites here do, we do not. So here, we use it on a limited basis. I mean, it's a short walk to use the bathroom, so we just do that instead of filling up our tank, because we have 65 gallons in our black tank, which is like, what, 13 5-gallon buckets?
Yeah, so think of 13 5-gallon buckets lined up.
Yeah.
And that's the amount of crap we can fit, which that's what I like about the fifth wheel, is that it actually has bigger tanks than our travel trailer. And then we have, what is it, 35 or 37 gallons of, we have 2 different gray tanks. So we have one for the rear kitchen, one for the shower and the sink.
The sink and the bathroom. So like our shower and like when we brush our teeth and all that good stuff, wash our faces, that goes in one gray tank. We have the kitchen up front, which has a separate gray tank, and then we have the black tank, the sewage. But we've boondocked for 3 weeks just on those tanks alone.
And then we have to like hook up and go find a place to dump, which a lot of RV parks, some gas stations too along the way you can find.
Which our fresh water, I believe, is 82 gallon.
Yeah.
So
which
when
is
you're
a lot.
boondocking means you're not hooked up at all.
You're dry camping.
You're dry camping. You just have your trailer parked basically, and you're running off the batteries, and then our fresh water. So like with showering, we have to be very quick as far as we're really good at turning the water on, getting ourselves wet, turn it off, lather up, wash your hair, and then turn it back on. So it's just, I mean, really, I feel like full-time RVing has taught us to really be conscious about our usage. Like our footprint has been greatly reduced. We don't use as much, thanks Bella, we don't use as much water, and you know, we've really, I feel when
like
we do get into a hotel, I'm not gonna lie, I sit in the shower for like 10 minutes unnecessarily, just because it's I mean, hotel showers are usually really awesome with their water pressure and everything anyway, but when you haven't had that luxury for a while, it feels really good to just kind of stand in the shower and do that. But
how do you support your, Tina asked, how do you support your RV life, and do you work?
So we do work, or I do work a W-2 job still. I'm an auto adjuster, travel around and essentially chase hailstorms and hurricanes. It's something I've been doing for 20 years now in the industry, but fortunately we set ourselves up with some online businesses, Amazon specifically, and so yeah, we work both.
I mostly do the e-commerce, so I run the Amazon business. We have business partners as well that contribute, but then we have, you know, we're starting the YouTube channel just to kind of document our travels and help other people, inspire them. We do print on demand, which is t-shirt designs. Just got into Kindle publishing, so we're just finding little things. Oh, and we sell on eBay too.
eBay is more of a hobby at this point, just because we like to go thrifting and finding deals basically, and then putting them online to sell them. But with the RV lifestyle,
it's hard to keep all that stuff because we don't have a lot of room. I mean, we have room for stuff. We have room above our recliners, and then we have 2 plastic bins in our closet, which holds all of our eBay stuff. But in the end,
we don't do it as much as we used to.
We still love going and finding something that, I mean, who doesn't want to make money? So it's fun to do that, but it's just not our focus. We're trying to find stuff that we don't have to hold on to, don't have to have inventory, and Amazon's been great.
Yeah, we essentially have set ourselves up for the non-traditional lifestyle. I mean, we are full-time RVing, but you know, we don't have a lot of the bills that a lot of people do because of how we've set ourselves up. So my motivation to continue a W-2 job is not that great right now. So yeah,
and with full-time RVing,
more to come on that.
Yeah, more to come. We won't say anything else, so stay tuned. But the reason why we're doing this is to really, you know, have a very comfortable
live our
lifestyle.
Life now. I mean, we run into a lot of people, of course, that are retired, and they look at us and ask, you know, how are we doing it at this age? You know, and seeing retirees do this now, like the full-time RV life, it can be difficult. I mean, physically, It can be demanding as far as unloading the black tank, and just even the simple things like hooking up a water hose and unscrewing that. I've had to help several people that were struggling with stuff, putting hoses away and whatnot.
Older people, which is really sad because you know that they've spent their entire life trying to build up a retirement to where they could live this lifestyle, and that's why we're doing it now, because we want to be able to physically be able to enjoy it. And
yeah.
So
there's a lot of ways to make a living. A W-2 corporate job is not the answer anymore, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, Michael Chip, the guy that is the bowler that wrote the articles on me.
Okay.
He asked, how much does it cost in gas to fill it up when you were on the road? Sorry about that. Dogs are going crazy. So we have a fifth wheel, so really we are just responsible for the diesel gas. And I mean, we haven't added everything up. We do know, like when we were in Morgan Hill, California by San Jose, we had to go 1,300 miles. Was it 18? No, 1,800 miles we went, and it was about a little over $900.
Yeah, I mean, California diesel is $4 and change. When we were just in Iowa, it was like $265, $275.
Yeah.
So
it depends on where we're at and like how far we're going to travel. Our ideal plan would be, we're members of Thousand Trails, which is a membership campgrounds, and they're mainly on the coasts of the U.S., Oregon, Washington, California, and then in like Florida, and I don't really care about the East Coast.
Yeah, so we plan on, staying 3 weeks at a time at each place, and I think there's like 82 different spots. So
and it's free.
Yeah, for some. Well, we had to pay for the membership,
so
it's not free. But
it's like a timeshare for campgrounds, which for us, we looked at it as, okay, well, we pay X amount of dollars, and for lifetime we can stay there for free. Like, that's a great deal. So ideally, we would like to do that and just kind of hop around to those campsites.
We'll definitely get our money's worth.
Yeah, and then we won't be spending as much much money on diesel, because with Casey's job, they could send us anywhere. I mean, we could have to drive 30 hours, or we could have to drive 20 hours, and the amount of diesel that we spend, like, really, it's almost like a mortgage. It's kind of sickening.
Yeah, diesel's not cheap, but is what it is.
Yeah, that's just the lifestyle. Beth asked, do you ever feel like you're missing out on the space of a house or no? Which I feel like we...
Absolutely not. I felt worse paying a mortgage every month. Again, I was traveling for 2 years, living in a hotel before we decided to do this full time, about 2.5 years actually. But even when I was back home, there's a lot of space just wasted. So yeah, to me, like, a mortgage,
70% of our house,
a mortgage just doesn't make sense. Yeah. Again, when we get back in real estate, it's just going to be investment only. Yep. Not for living per se.
Right. Gary, how do you receive mail? Well, we are actually residents of South Dakota. A lot of full-timers will choose between Florida, South Dakota, and Texas. There's mail forwarding services. We used America's Mailbox, and we actually got a post mailbox number, which is a PMB. They gave it to us. We had to stay at a campground or a hotel using that address for one night in South Dakota. And then we were able to go to the DMV, which, by the way, there was one person in line, which is so ironic, because anytime you go in Phoenix,
Arizona,
crazy. Like, you spend half of your day there, and you're like, that's part of my life I'm never going to get back. But it's a really simple process. So they receive all of our mail. We load up our account with money, and then anytime we feel like we have something coming, like passports or something important, because a lot of stuff's done online, so you really don't get that much mail. And we paid for a plan where they'll sort through all the junk mail and only keep the stuff that is important. We'll let them know where we're at, and they just send it to us. And so it's really simple.
That plan, I believe it's $180 a year that we pay. So it's $180 a year to have that address, to have the post mailbox, and then we loaded up like $250 for postage. I'm not sure how much we've spent. We've probably in the last year literally
much.
had our mail sent to us like 4 times.
Yeah.
We purposely set our bills up, any bills that we have, to come electronically. Again, they sort through our junk mail, so it's minimal.
Yeah. And then, is it hard to find internet? Yes. Okay. If you are watching this and you own a campground or an RV park,
invest in internet. We need internet.
That's the most stressful, I shouldn't say stressful, that's the most frustrating thing when we go places, is our entire livelihood is on the internet. Like, that's what we do for work and we need it. And even the world's first KOA and the internet is awful.
Yeah.
Like, we can barely get service. So,
I mean, you've got, 50, 60, 100 people on the same network, and so it can slow down in a hurry. We use our
phones, then our phones start to throttle, so we are allowed, yes, unlimited data, but after so many, whatever it's called, gigabytes, megabytes, or whatever they are, then you start to get throttled, so then they automatically slow you down. So that's been the biggest challenge on the road. We're thinking of getting like a Verizon jetpack that we can use, but in the end, if the RV parks would just get up to date with technology, and
it's a challenge, no question. I think if you start to follow RVers online and stuff like that,
everyone says the same thing.
Everybody kind of struggles with that, and to get like a jetpack that would give you a decent amount of gigabytes or whatever, it's not cheap at all. I mean, I think 100 gigs is, I don't know, check Verizon, but it's not cheap.
No. And the last question from our buddy Mark: what were the best RV models you've seen that you would consider if you did it all over again? Which I know my answer.
Yeah, that's a good question. We haven't really went to RV shows. I know a lot of people do. That's something that we haven't done. So.
But we do look in, like, we just look at people pulling in and think, wow, like some of those Class A's that are like 40, 45 feet, I'm like, there's no way I would want to drive that. But
a lot of the fifth wheels, a lot of the RV companies in general, they're kind of the same design. So, I mean, we can tell now that we've been in ours and kind of experienced stuff, if it has a rear kitchen or if the kitchen's on the side, or...
Which I do like our rear kitchen.
Yeah.
So that would be... I feel like we don't know a specific RV, but definitely we know what we like and what we don't like.
Yeah. Our friend Jim that we've met has a big Class A with a toy hauler.
Which is
that's
awesome.
Intriguing because, I mean, it's kind of all-encompassing. You kind of have a garage, if you will, in a Class A.
I also like the either rear or the side patio, like in the fifth wheels that they pull down, and then you get this like nice little patio. Girls are misbehaving.
Come here, girls. Yeah, I would say Liz hit that on the head. Like, we've seen some with back patios or side patios. It would be nice to have a patio to chill out on.
No. Shandy.
But at the same time, you just basically go out and hang out at the picnic table and or the chairs that we're sitting in now. And
it's starting to rain.
Enjoy this. It is starting to rain.
Well, that was the last question.
So thanks for anybody tuning in to our first Facebook Live.
I'm so bummed. YouTube must put restrictions on because
we're not cool enough to be on YouTube yet.
We don't have that many followers, so of course we're not going to let us go live.
Yeah, we tried to go on YouTube and it didn't happen, but...
I mean, we'll put the video on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this is our life, and thank you to everyone who has subscribed to our YouTube or liked our Facebook page. We just started a Facebook group called the Freedom Flippers. We'd love you to join if you're curious about pretty much making money and on the road and just ways that we use the internet.
Ways you can get out of the corporate grind, in a sense.
Yeah. So, but
thanks for tuning in.
And we'll catch you on the flip.